And in the Jewish tradition, so much is taken from repetition. And in Torah, 36 times it says, don't oppress the stranger. You know the soul of the stranger. You were the stranger.
I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government because God has ordained the government for his purposes.
Last week, Attorney General Jeff Sessions used a passage from the Bible to defend the zero-tolerance policy. That interpretation didn't sit well with religious leaders who oppose it. More than 600 members of Sessions' own faith, the United Methodists, are so angry at how he's wielded his political power that they filed a formal complaint against him in the church. Vice News spoke to a rabbi, an imam, and a bishop who recently delivered a pretty well-watched sermon on the power of love about what happens when Scripture gets politicized.
Well, you know, the citing of Romans 13 to justify this particular action of removing children from their parents was actually a misuse of a sacred text, just a clear misuse of it.
That never happens.
That never happens in this world. No, it's Romans 13 literally is prefaced by the words, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And throughout Romans 13, there's talk about the purpose of government is to preserve and enhance the good.
In all faith traditions, the goal is not to blindly follow, but to search and come up with answers. I imagine that Sessions used that quote in order to reinforce this idea of hierarchy.
The beauty of texts, such as the ones our religions revolve around, is that it can give you real indication as to where the person engaging the text lies in terms of their own moral compass. The challenge with the text is that you could turn it into whatever it is that you want to, and in order for it to maintain its authority, you just need people who will listen to you.
And in the Jewish tradition, so much is taken from repetition. And in Torah, 36 times it says, don't oppress the stranger. You know the soul of the stranger. You were the stranger. It's a massive number in one comprehensive text. To ignore that part and to take this part means that you didn't read the whole book.
And Jesus was very clear about welcoming the stranger. He said, what is God going to be concerned about on Judgment Day? He's going to be concerned about, did you feed me when I was hungry? Did you visit me when I was a stranger? Care for the stranger, as in all of our traditions, welcoming the stranger and hospitality is a cardinal virtue.
How do you then go out and live those values, right? How are you living your faith? On Friday, when I preach to our community, I'm going to tell them that in the last couple of days, hundreds of young children have entered into our city who there's no plan as to how they could be reunited with their families. What does that mean to us living in the city that they're in, beyond saying that this is bad and this is incorrect? You know, how do we bring some type of balance and goodness to it?
Where most politicians have potential for good, which gets at kind of what you both are really talking about, how do we take seriously that Statue of Liberty? Bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That's what this country's about. It has its roots in our religious traditions. When they take values and use them to do the opposite, that's where you get demagoguery. That's where you get bigotries enshrined that sound like they're religious, but have nothing to do with anybody's religion. Where most politicians have potential